In 2024, I ran 7 different obstacle course races across the UK, and I thought I'd rank them and tell you which ones I'll be doing again this year. So since the beginning of 2023, I've lost about 30 kilograms. I'm still on that weight loss journey, and I mostly did that with diet and exercise, going to the local gym, a tiny bit of jogging, but pretty much just food and exercise, the bog standard, normal things. It was only at the end of 2023 I was invited to train and come along to the Winter Nuts Challenge in March of 2024. I really, really didn't want to do it. I was not interested at all. I looked at a few of the videos online and it looks horrible. It just didn't look like something I'd be interested in. But I went and instantly had a revelation. I loved it. I loved the freedom to jump and dive in the mud, the silliness and the craziness and the absurdity of it, how freezing cold it was, how I'd pushed myself in a way that I didn't even know my body could do what it was able to do. Now, I'm no expert. I've got the upper body strength of someone who's only really been training for a year or two, but I was just amazed by the things I could do. And that flush of adrenaline and endorphins left me hooked. And I knew I'd be booking more the minute I was halfway through that race. I knew I'd be coming back for more. Right, so I tried to look for courses that were within a few hours of where I live in West Sussex on Saturday, so I could leave the kids and wife at home and I could get there with a car by myself. I tried to bring friends. Some of them I did bring some buddies to, but most of them I ended up doing solo, which was part of the experience of getting out there and feeling uncomfortable and doing something I've never done before. So I'm going to rank them from best to worst, although none of them were really that terrible. But just chronologically, in 2024, I attended the Winter Nuts Challenge, the Mud Monster Run in April, the Tough Mudder that was Southwest London in April, the Colour Challenge, which was another run at the Nuts Challenge space, same as the Winter Nuts Challenge. In September, I did the full-on Summer Nuts Challenge, and then I did an inflatable 2.5K with the kids in September, and October was the Commando Challenge at Hever Castle. Well, from bottom to top, I'm ranking these on the things that really count. So the quality of the medal, the quality of the experience, and value for money. So bottom of the list there is the inflatable. I only did the 2.5K, got this little wooden medal at the end of it. It was really fun and really family friendly. And I wanted to include it on the list because I'm definitely going to do them again with the kids to get them used to it. But it wasn't really a mud run or an obstacle run. The obstacles were fun. You're normally in and out of them within a minute or maybe 45 seconds. It was great vibes, but it was clean. It was set on a field. Value for money was good. The price all in was £31. But it wasn't one I would jump back to do. It didn't feel like it ranked in the same space, which is obvious, really. You're clean on a nice clean field running through inflatables, not getting splinters under your fingernails and crawling through puddles trying not to drown. Then in 6th place, I'll put the Colour Run, which is on the Nuts Run course. It's a bit more kid-friendly. We did the 5K. I did it with a friend. For the 5-kilometre run, the price was £45. That includes a £40 ticket and a £5 cash for parking. And the idea there is as you're running a slightly different variant of the course, you're getting chucked coloured paints in your face and in your eyes. It was really fun. It was a lot less challenging because this was in May, so it was much drier and the rivers were much lower. So all of the water obstacles were much more attainable and achievable and everything just felt a bit warmer. So I didn't feel as pushed and as stretched on that. And I think because it was a little bit more kid-friendly as well, I'd found it a little bit more underwhelming than I was expecting. Might do it again if I could convince my children to come along and do it with me. Not sure yet. In 5th place is the Summer Nuts Challenge. So this again was a 5K. The price for the Nuts Challenge was £45 again, £40 for a ticket, £5 for parking. Did it on the Nuts course. That was the second time or the third time I'd run it that year. And that one was similar to the original with some more course variations, a slightly bigger village to begin things off with. And the most annoying thing there, my own fault, I wanted to do the full 10 kilometres, but I managed to sprain my finger climbing out of one of the water tunnels and I couldn't grip anything. The pain was too much. So after the first lap, I just gave up and walked away. Still really, really enjoyed it. I would say 20% of the course was different to the Winter Nuts Challenge. So it's still refreshing to go back there and do it again. And it's also really close to me. So I imagine I'll be going back to do the Summer Nuts and the Winter Nuts again for sure. In 4th place, so bang in the middle really, is the official and original Tough Mudder Challenge. This thing is expensive. I think I pay £125 for the ticket, £20 for parking and £20 for photos. So it was a lot of money in comparison to the rest of them, but it had the most professional setup and also the most incredible and egregious marketing campaigns. If you're on their mailing list, you'll see they never stop. I ran the 10 kilometers Tough Mudder, which was one single course, so you don't have to lap around again, which is great. And the setup is really incredible in terms of the obstacles that you'll be running. It felt very professional, very safe, and there was some real crazy stuff there. The one thing it does that none of the others do is absolutely force you to collaborate. So going to it solo, as I did, you had to make friends on the way around. And sometimes you'll make that friend for a few seconds on the course, so they would lift you up or you would lift them up onto something. And sometimes I stuck around for ages to help other people because it's just really fun to be part of something that's so physical and to help other people along and feel like you're part of this moment of joint community. The Tough Mudder was great. The village afterwards was great. The atmosphere there, the food available was all really good. It's just tough to justify that price when you compare it to all of the other branded obstacle runs that are really, really quite similar, which we'll get into. Third place then is the Winter Nuts Challenge. So I did 3 of those runs at the Nuts Challenge course. This one was 45 quid again, so 40 quid ticket, 5 quid for parking. This was in March of 2024. I'll be going back to the one in March this year. The major downside here was the rain ruined the car park experience. And multiple people were stuck in mud and frustrated and unhappy. And you could see it on the way in that it was going to be bad. I think they might have changed things around because in the summer nuts that year, they had moved to where the car parking was. So hopefully there's some lessons learned there. The Nuts Challenge overall are the most authentic and grassroots feeling. They're really clearly run by a small community who are very passionate about the space and the courses, and they offer kind of training courses there as well. And holy shit, the brutality of the cold water courses in the Winter Nuts Challenge was shocking. My first ever obstacle course run, I had no idea what to expect. And I'd say by the end, everyone was thoroughly exhausted, shivering, shaking. Nothing prepared us for that. Now, this is probably mostly because of the huge rain that you were in water up to ribcage height at least for a huge chunk of that time. When I was there in the summer again, actually, it was much more friendly. But yeah, it felt grassroots, great value for money. The highlight of the Winter Nuts Challenge, and it was there for every one of those nuts runs actually, was this huge 12-foot jump that takes you flying off the top of a platform into this murky water below. And that's really scary, but really, really fun as well. So second place, it was the Mud Monster. So I found out about this completely randomly by chance when I noticed a sign on the way to the Nuts Challenge. The Mud Monster was 78 quid, which included the photography. And they used the same facial recognition technology as the other ones. I think you find that at Tough Mudder as well. So that seems more expensive than some of the others, but it really did feel like a Tough Mudder. It would be hard pressed to say the setup and anything else was drastically different to Tough Mudder, and I think it comes in at half the price. A perfect balance of price and quality, and the festival atmosphere was really, really good. Again, it felt like you were part of something together. The terrain was challenging. I ran the 14-kilometer there, which was the longest one I'd done, the longest run I'd ever done my whole life there, and I felt it by the end. You do 2 laps, and it was really challenging. It's by far the best medal as well. It's 3D printed, feel real chunk, which feels awesome. And it was probably, well, it was without a doubt the second best run I did of the year. And because I did that in April and then went on to do all these other ones throughout the year, I kind of felt like I'd already done the best and I'd peaked, and I was a little bit each time expecting something else to be better than that Mud Monster, including the Tough Mudder, which definitely wasn't, considering it's double the price. So the final one left, and my favourite of the year, was the Commando Challenge at Hever Castle, which I ran a 6-kilometer 1 lap of. And the price there was £80 entry and £35 for the photos using facial recognition again. It was easily the most memorable experience with this really unique location set in and around Hever Castle and going up into the terrifying cave system. Did you know Hever Castle had a cave system? I had a micro panic attack. Went into the cave by myself because no one was with me at the time. I was ahead or most likely behind the rest of the pack. And once you're in the cave, it's pitch black. There is a way out, but it's hidden behind a secret door, which is in the shape of a rock and feels like a rock on the hinges. Not knowing that, I could feel everything starting to tighten up, could feel my throat go, could feel my chest go, and was heading in the direction of a panic attack when thankfully, I felt the door moved open and a hand came out and grabbed me, and I managed to grab someone. He took me out of the cave, straight to then give me 100 standing jumping squats for wearing the green armband. So all swings and roundabouts, I suppose. Hidden away in the bushes nearby. Bloody hell, it was terrifying. And paying for it, I didn't realize I'd paid for the green bracelet Commando challenge mode, which meant whenever I ran into one of the military personnel that seemed to man the course and marshal it, they would pull me over, call me a maggot, and make me do squats or bear crawls or do an obstacle twice while everyone else steamed by without being called over. I didn't mean to go for that, but that's what I got. The warm-up was also amazing because they made you face off against another stranger and try and pin them in the mud. And that was a really weird and unique experience as well. Wife and kids came to that one. And afterwards, we got to walk around Hever Castle and spend another few hours in Hever Castle. And by the way, the play fort assault course for kids, uh, Henry VIII Castle inside Hever Castle, is one of the best adventure playgrounds I've ever been in. If you happen to want to go into one of those because you have children, hopefully. You start that obstacle race in a boat, as if you're in like Saving Private Ryan, with ex-military and military guys telling you about the story of storming Normandy Beach before you go out into the sounds of gunfire, storm off through the lake, storm off over and straight into 6-7 kilometers of really brutal obstacles. Everything from climbing to being fully immersed underwater, dragged through sheep dips, going onto other boats, crawling through the mud. It just was really, really taxing. I saw some kids failing hard because it's pretty brutal for kids. It's brutal for me. I definitely wouldn't want to have done 2 laps of that. A smaller but still great festival atmosphere at the main stage area, which was really fun to be a part of, and definitely my most memorable one, followed very closely by Mud Monster, the 2 I'll absolutely be doing again this year. In fact, I'll probably do all of these again, and I'm looking for some more that are close by. There's some over in Essex that look amazing, some midnight ones going on through the night, even going to probably do the Tough Mudders again, but I'd love to find someone to do them with, so I'll try and ask around early, get friends and family involved if possible. So I accidentally unlocked this odd new obsession with obstacle course runs as I hit 38 years old. It's a weird time to get into it, but I still think of that kind of 15, 16-year-old Ben who struggled to make his way around the cross-country running course at high school. And no, I can do better than that now. And I could do it fully submerged while being screamed at by Commando, which, you know, that's probably a useful, that's probably a useful life skill. Hope this was useful, and I'd love to hear if there's any that you guys have done that I haven't done. I'm considering getting a camera to wear on my head for the next one. I think it'd be quite funny to see me floundering and flailing around. Hope this was helpful. Love to hear if there's other ones that I need to try. Seeing some ones across the globe that look really exciting, so maybe one day we'll take this abroad. Thanks for watching.